In today's video, we are going to talk about hair. Some of y'all may have subscribed to this channel because of the natural hair content that I used to post. However, it's been a long time and I have gone through a journey with my hair. I will say that I am in a current phase where I have been I would say a mix of unhappy. I've been unhappy with my hair and I've also neglected my self-care, like a mix of both, just being honest. I am a mom of two. I had two under two, so the last 4 years of my life have quite literally been beautifully chaotic. Let me just say that. I will say my hair was thriving with my first child. I had beautiful curls. This video is going to be a hair journey, so let's just go all the way back. So there was a time probably in 2019, 2018, where I was having a moment, I was having a day, it was that week of the month, and I was like, let me just dye my hair. Dyed it, didn't come out how I wanted to, so I bleached, or I didn't dye it, I bleached it, so then I bleached it again, and I bleached it again. I was like, I know what I'm doing, I've never damaged my hair, I got this, and it was fine. It got to the color, it toned to the color, and about 4 months later, I was in the shower, and when I was brushing my hair, I took my hand out and a clump of hair just came out. I was like, that's weird. Was my hair matted in the back? What was going on? So over the course of the next 2 months, I quite literally just had chunks of hair falling out. So really, long story short, all of my hair came out. Like all of it came out. So just giving a quick little breakdown, this part is kind of broken into different phases. So as you can see, my hair is blonde here. So this was like in the beginning when it happened. So the hair was just breaking off at the bleach pieces. However, in the back, in the middle, it stayed. And I just did not want to cut it off. I could not let it go. But as you can see, I didn't really have a curl texture. It was thinning. My roots were really curly, but my ends obviously were not. And over the course of like the next 4 months, it slowly got to this point where it was all falling out, as you can see in this clip. This wasn't like the beginning when my hair was fresh, because I showed you those pictures when my hair was fresh earlier in the video. And then it progressed. I started doing protective styles, and then you can see I used a temporary color. That's why the hair is tinted right here. And then I had a weave where it was like a copper color. So these videos are kind of in between the protective styles. So the blonde was in the beginning, the brownish purplish color. The purple, like my hair turned purple because the temporary color after it kind of ran out ended up being tinted purple. But in those clips, in these clips, you can see that my curl texture was coming back. So I knew I was on the right track. I just had to wait for it to grow out. So I committed myself to doing wigs and weaves for like a year. I had to start from scratch. I was doing lots of protective styles, wigs, weaves, quick weaves. I was quite literally just braiding my hair in like 4 plaits, 3 plaits, and wearing a wig. So for about a year to a year and a half, I committed myself to protective styles. As you can see, or what you're about to see, are really bad weaves, unblended leave out, hard wigs. It was just really bad. I was trying to do my best, and honestly, I just didn't embrace the short hair. I feel like if I would have just embraced the short hair and blended my leave out with shorter hair, it would have been better. But you know, I didn't want to let the long hair go. So I went through phases. Then after that grew out, I kind of switched to trying to embrace a darker hair color. So I ended up finding some wigs as well as just a few clip-ins where I would just kind of create my own bun. I also got a weave too, and I used, what is that temporary dye called? I don't remember, but a temporary dye which basically dyed my hair darker, but it was still bleached. But that weave also lost a lot of hair. I don't know if you guys remember like the OG AliExpress Eunice hair brands that used to be it on YouTube. Like this is where I lost my faith in those type of brands. So when I went to like the 2B slash black hair color, I dibbled and dabbled between just coloring my leave out that was growing out with a L'Oreal temporary color pin. And then I also got a few weaves. I think the weaves did well just because it blended a little bit better. The hair was shorter and it just worked. I really was just upset about my hair, and this was probably one of the better weaves that I got because it blended a bit more. But once again, it was matting up and it was falling out a lot. At first I thought it was just me, but it definitely was the quality of the hair. Over time, I stopped touching my leave out because I found myself having to use the color pin or having to dye it or the color not blending well. So I just started experimenting more with wigs. I ended up having just more of a consistent routine with my wigs, and this is where my hair really started to thrive. I honestly just kind of kept my hair braided up and I kept it oiled up all the time. I feel like this is where I received the most growth. I ended up getting a weave again and my curls were much tighter and the hair was blending much better. So this is after a year of consistently using weaves and wigs and protective styles, and then my leave out for the last weave that I had being blended a little bit better, and me actually caring a little bit more about the appearance and the way that it looked, because honestly I was just desperate to not have my natural hair out. I really didn't care what my hair actually looked like. I also had a ducktail that I just would not let go of. I had like a long piece in the center, but everything else was super short. And I just didn't want to let go of it, so I kept it until my hair got long enough. So funny looking at these clips now because I obviously would never go outside with my hair like this because I had a little ducktail, but I don't know why I just did not want to let it go. I probably would have propelled my hair growth journey if I would have just cut it, but I didn't. But this was still significant progress. My hair texture was getting thicker. It was getting longer. You see me pulling that one little piece. That was like the piece that I always went to on that side of my head. And then I still had my little ducktail. That was even getting healthier too. And you can see it did get smaller from what it was in the beginning, but I still didn't let it go. So the big major change before I was pregnant was I was eating my vitamins and nutrients. I'm a little bit of an extremist, so I started looking up things that make your hair grow, and then I looked at the vitamins that were in those things and the nutrients, and then I just started eating them. So a big thing was the barley grass juice powder that I drink, sea moss, and then just really paying attention to my diet. I also started making this hair oil that made my hair grow like crazy. I actually have a shea butter that I make that has some of those oils in it because sometimes oils are just too heavy or too greasy for your hair. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. But long story short, my hair was thriving. It was super curly, juicy, doing all of the things, growing substantially, and then I got pregnant. So some people say pregnancy makes your hair thrive. Other people say it makes your hair fall out. Some people say it makes your hair grow, all of the above. I personally think the things that I was doing before pregnancy is really what propelled my hair growth. Up until I had my firstborn, my hair is still thriving. I'm going to insert pictures and videos. This was around that time. This would have been in 2021. So 18, 19, 20. So this was 2 years later. So a lot of the growth happened before this. So I also want to mention I was very, very militant with my diet in my first pregnancy. I drank celery juice every day, and I used to make it fresh every day because I didn't have no kids. I was just in the house, COVID, and I was just, all I had to worry about was having the healthiest pregnancy possible. So I had all the daily green boost, barley grass powder. I had my celery juice. I was drinking my red raspberry leaf tea. I was doing everything. So my hair looks the best here. I think it had a large part to do with my diet. This was probably like a month postpartum, maybe even 2 months postpartum, but I didn't have any postpartum hair loss whatsoever. My hair was thick, my hair was thriving, and I had no issues with my hair. My hair was still doing everything that it was doing pre-pregnancy, and I was really happy with the thickness. So my hair was thriving through the pregnancy. In postpartum, my hair stayed super tight, super like just everything was exactly the way I had wanted it, but I was still craving growth. I wanted my hair to be longer.
So during this period, I just focused on growth. I wasn't really caring about the texture of my hair. And honestly, like I said, postpartum, my self-care went out of the drink. Like it just was non-existent. So a lot of the progress you see was just me kind of wearing my hair in a bun every single day, washing it, oiling, and repeating the same cycle.
So I was still doing the things. I was using shea butter, oil concoctions, the hair oil that I was making that I've used in other videos that some of you guys talk about under the comments. And then I got pregnant again. I got pregnant when I was 9 months postpartum with my first.
So from about 2 months to 3 months postpartum, I ended up getting braids, which was life-saving because I just was really underestimating what postpartum and breastfeeding was going to demand of me. And then after I got my hair taken out, in which I left it in too long, so it started matting up, my hair was thriving. My hair was thick, it was curly, it still had texture, it was growing, it was getting longer. And I was trying to figure out how to style my hair and basically get to know what my hair was looking like now that it was getting to the length that I liked it to be.
So my hair in that pregnancy, it was doing well, it was doing great. I really felt like nothing really changed. My hair did get significantly longer, in which, like I said, I think a lot of that happened in the postpartum and during the pregnancy, but I don't think pregnancy has propelled my hair growth like some people say it does.
Oh, during this pregnancy, my hair kept doing exactly what it had been doing before. It was growing, it was getting thicker. I was on vacation. My hair was loving the humidity. I had ringlets and curls, and it was getting to the longer the longest length that it had been, yet the curls were still fully intact.
And then after I had my second baby, which was in 2022, so just 1 year later, my hair turned into this postpartum. So it's 2025, from 2020, I would say 2023, because it didn't happen overnight. Probably like 3 months into my postpartum, I started noticing that my hair was getting wavy, and originally I thought it was just because my hair was getting longer. So I'm gonna insert clips and videos of like what my hair looked like right when I was postpartum, and then what it looked like a few months later.
So this clip of me in the green, I was probably like a week postpartum, and you can see my hair was doing everything that it was supposed to be doing. And then here in the orange, I was probably like a month postpartum. So once again, it was doing everything that it was supposed to be doing. It was still curly, it was still thick. And then you can see in these clips, my hair texture changed significantly. And this was probably only 2 months apart from each other. It's not like my hair grew significantly in weight. I don't believe, and I don't remember if I like changed any products or anything like that, but this is when the texture started to change. It was about 2 to 3 months postpartum when I noticed a difference.
For the longest, I just thought that it was just because my hair was getting longer. And honestly, my self-care, like I said, it was non-existent. So I was just wearing my hair in a bun anyways. I would still use the shea butter to put my hair in a bun. I would still use my oils. I was still doing the things. My diet, however, did suffer greatly. Like I did not keep up with the barley grass and the sea moss as I did in the first pregnancy and the first time postpartum. So I did notice that even though I was still using the products, my diet did change. So I was considering that might be the reason why. So up until 2023 to now, which is 2025, my hair texture has changed and it has not gone back. So I honestly, it was even longer than this. You guys, if you guys follow me on TikTok, you guys saw me chop my hair. I've cut my hair a few times. Currently, my hair is probably the shortest that it's been because I cut it. I also got it dyed recently because I was in a place where I cut it 4 inches, it still didn't curl up. And then I dyed it, and obviously dyeing it gives you a different look, but still the shape is not doing it for me. So I really don't know if this is like my new normal or if I just really need more of an aggressive cut. In the videos, you'll see that throughout the last few years, my hair has been longer than this and it still maintains the same curl pattern. So I really thought if I just cut off 4 inches, 6 inches, it will curl up. I delayed that a lot because I wanted my hair to be long, and I knew if I cut off 4 to 6 inches that my hair would potentially, if it did shrink because the curls were tighter, it was gonna be significantly shorter, and I was gonna basically be at the same stage that I was at when I wanted my hair to grow again, and I was trying to prevent that. I also like wearing my hair half up and half down, so I don't really know if I wanna do layers, because if I do layers, it's gonna look really nice when it's down, but when it's up, half down, which I wear all the time, it's probably not gonna look the greatest. So I'm currently in a phase where, yes, my hair is long and it's grown a lot, and I'm so grateful for that, but I really do not like this wavy hair. Like, I do not know what to do with it. So I found this brand on Etsy. It's called Nature's Ego. So I use the rose water leave-in conditioner and the rice water conditioner. And then I also I honestly kind of just ended up liking this brand a lot, and I just used kind of whatever they had. Like, every time I reordered, I kind of ordered a different thing. I really like this, as you can see, I really liked this brand. I bought it in bulk. I bought shampoo, conditioner, all of the things. This is very natural with very limited to no preservatives. This does expire after 6 months, so I do have to like make sure that when I buy it in bulk, I disperse it to where I'm actually using the product and using all of it. But I will say the biggest issue that I've had more so recently with this brand is because it's natural, and as a fragrance or an ex-fragrance person, I no longer really use fragrances, especially in my hair products, because one of my children is sensitive or was sensitive to fragrance. So I was like, this isn't good anyways. This is my pushing point. Like, we're not doing fragrances in our products. And I always break out on my skin if I use fragrance. That's why I make my own body butter. This particular one is hair butter and body butter combination. I do have a pure body butter as well, and then I have one that's purely for hair. But that's a different story for a different day. But the biggest problem I've had is this does not make my hair smell the greatest. Sometimes I feel like, and the rice water conditioner, it smells minty. Yeah, there's mint in here, and it's peppermint. So it's not like it smells like rice water, but it just doesn't, like, I know that on certain days, like when people hug me, they're like, or greet me, or I walk by, like, I know because my hair is so big, like, it just doesn't have the greatest smell. And I feel like even when I wash my hair, the smell stays in it. So I'm really struggling with what products I really want to use, especially considering both of my kids use the products that I use. So I want to be mindful of what their hair actually wants and needs, while also maintaining like a certain level of hygiene. I know these are still hygienic products. However, I don't want to be smelling like avocado that's been left in your hair for 3 days, if you know what I mean. So recently I went back to the good almighty Shea Moisture. So I've been using some of the Shea Moisture products, but really in this video, I really wanted to touch on the point that people have been asking me for an updated hair routine, and I don't have one. Like, I'm not happy with my hair. Honestly, please tell me if you guys know anything what I should do with my hair. If you guys have any natural hair care products that you guys are using, let me know. Because yes, my hair is growing, it's thriving, but I don't think it's the healthiest because my curls are not where they need to be. So what I'm gonna be doing for the next few months is I'm gonna be analyzing my diet in a very particular way. I'm going to be looking up vitamins and nutrients that I'm lacking, and hopefully with consistency in that area, my hair will curl up again. I'm gonna continue to make my hair butters and shea butters and my hair oils, but if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next upload.